Hey, what's up again, Conservative 915? We wanted to present some after hours content. We just released, we're going to release the 1 hour regular episode, but we thought we'd do a little quick segment. I recently got a chance to see Jordan Peterson live at the Abraham Chavez Theater in El Paso, Texas yesterday, and it was actually like a really, really interesting lecture. I had the opportunity to see him twice already. I think I saw him in Dallas and then once in Midland. So this is actually the third time I went to go check him out.
Nice.
But man, he covered a ton of mind-blowing topics. Like towards the end of his lecture, he did this whole thing about sort of an interpretation of the Book of Revelation, which is really, really cool.
That's heavy stuff.
But I think maybe in a future episode we can go over like some of the broader topics. But I kind of just wanted to go over something quick. He pretty much like started the introduction with a discussion on worship. And he was talking about there's something that each one of us has to worship. And it's like, well, what are you choosing to worship, you know?
Yeah, because no matter who you are, you do worship someone or something. Like even you atheists out there, you do have a faith. It's just misguided, at least in my opinion.
And is it even possible, when he was doing this lecture, is it possible not to worship something?
No, it's not. That's what we live for.
I was kind of thinking about it, and that's what Jordan Peterson.
Well, I guess the definition, like, because when I think worship, I think
like a rite, like a liturgy,
like a rite, whatever. But I guess worship can also be translated into liking something a lot.
Yeah,
whether that's money, whether that's like people, your car, your wife,
most people, it's themselves,
yourself, whatever.
And it's like in your hierarchy of values, what's at the top.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. It's a good thing you mentioned that because Jordan Peterson really harps on heavily on defining things. That way you don't get like the wrong impression of what he has to say, or maybe the wrong impression of like the discussion that's going on. But he did say something really similar to what you just said, Ruben, and what Steve just said, where when you worship something, it's like you praise something that's like high, something that's good, like to you, something that's important to you, something that should be worthy of praise, you know. Mm-hmm. And I guess for different people, that could be different things. And he sort of kind of went into a lot of different topics too, just on the worshiping itself, because he's like, well, like just think about it too. When you go to a basketball game, why are people like cheering on all those basketball players? It's because you really admire their skills and their abilities, like on the basketball court, right, you know, to make the shot and to like have some really, really skilled ability. Whenever somebody does something that's incredibly skilled, like everybody's cheering, everybody's together on it. They're like, yeah. And he made a funny joke. He's like, there could be somebody in the crowd who steals cars for a living, but at that point, you all are united. You know, it doesn't really matter. He's not there to steal cars or anything. You're all there to appreciate a game of basketball, you know?
One guy that can really jump.
Yeah, exactly. You dunk or make some really good three-pointers. And he was kind of saying that it kind of goes back to, well, that analogy he was giving was going back to, like, good versus evil, like sin. I think sin itself means, like, to miss the mark. And so when you hit the mark, you're doing, I guess, the right thing. You're doing good. That's kind of what people aspire to, you know? They don't want to miss the mark.
So I guess that the win of the Toronto Raptors in 2019 really left a mark in Jordan Peterson.
Maybe.
It's the Toronto basketball.
5 years ago?
5 years ago.
Well, I don't know. Because I remember I was going for the Raptors because I didn't like the other team. But then I didn't want the Raptors to win because they were Canadian.
Yeah.
Because it was a Canadian, so I was like, I was caught in between. So, and they ended up winning. Is that when they had who was with the Raptors? I know Kawhi Leonard was playing, but I forgot if he was with the Raptors or with the other team. Who was it? The Raptors against who?
I'll have to pull that up.
I'm not really into sports ball.
Yeah, I was about to say I haven't seen an NBA game in like 10 years. I want to say it was the Golden
State, because I think that's the only year that
asking the wrong
Kawhi
guy.
played with the Raptors, I think. and they had a guy on the team that played for MSU before he got drafted by the Raptors. Something, I forget. I was going to say he was a black dude, but yeah, that's pretty much like 90% right.
Really?
And the funny thing too, in El Paso, I think we're more of a lib town. But man, the Abraham Chavez Theater was packed. There was like
no way.
When he walked out, he got a standing ovation. Like it was.
Well, how many people were
Ron Paul, dude?
Yeah,
Ron Paul. It was packed too. So did you find out who they played, Steve?
They played against the San Antonio Spurs.
Was it
and
the
Spurs? It was Kawhi.
Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
And there was another dude from New Mexico State. I forgot his name.
Dang.
Anyways, I didn't know it was that long.
That is actually nice to hear. I mean, but then if he got a standing ovation, he got a full house. people that agree with stuff that Jordan Peterson says. Thank you, Steve. Why then is El Paso a super lib town? I don't get it. Because a lot of what he says is clean up your room. You know, get your things in order. Like before you want to go out and save the world, like first you gotta
turn your house electric, wind powered. Don't tell me you want to build all these stalls when your house is not carbon neutral.
You mean the gender neutral stalls?
Oh, everything. Yeah, you should be carbon neutral as much as you want to be gender neutral.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Give me that.
So that's actually interesting that you say that, because I would imagine the complete opposite, especially in El Paso. Like if, and this goes way back to what I was saying in one of our first episodes. Is I feel that there's a disconnect. We're conditioned to vote a certain way because of the color of our skin.
Well, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
You can infer whatever you want from what I'm saying. I don't think El Paso is a liberal town. I think we need to go back to paper ballots.
That is a great point. Paper ballots.
That's what I think, and you can figure out what I'm starting to think.
Yeah, no, I actually do agree.
El Paso's not a liberal town.
Okay, so yeah, that's fantastic. I do find it very interesting that a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm not religious or I'm spiritual," they kind of fall under this assumption that they're completely free, you know, because they don't have some kind of overbearing system of rules that governs everything that they say and do, you know, and which is not true. You end up worshiping things that are not good for you, because you have to fill that with something. You know, you have to fill that position with something, and it's usually something that is not gonna help you grow as a person. Like, I don't know, I wasn't there, but that sounds like it's a very, very interesting topic.
And we weren't there like we wanted to go, but we were at church.
We were at church. We were actually at worship. So
yeah, we were at church, so that's why we didn't go. And I would have missed. So it was a combination of things for me. I kind of forgot about it, but then like if I would have forgotten about it and stayed at home, I would have felt bad. But I forgot about it, but I was in church.
We were at least in church, yeah.
So yeah, at least I was in like here doing whatever. So,
doing whatever.
Like,
I know, you know,
well, you know what I was
dang well what you were
you know what I was thinking about how to turn my house carbon neutral and putting
starting off with this big old LED light.
Yeah.
And so, just going back to the original point where he says that you're always worshiping something, you know. Unfortunately, like some people like dive into a lot of bad stuff. One of the big ones that Jordan Peterson brought up was corn.
Adult content.
Yeah, adult content. There we go.
What do you mean? What's wrong with corn?
It's got the juice. I think it's it's got the juice.
It's got the juice. No, not that stuff. We're talking about he's and the she's, a hean and a shean. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
so if you start diving into the bad stuff, you know, it's sort of you start missing the mark because like you're starting to waste a lot of opportunity moving in the right direction, you know, bettering yourself, making yourself stronger. And he was kind of making the point that societies decay as a result of missing the mark.
We're not decaying, we're evolving.
Evolving.
We're
into
evolving, dude.
a state of putrefaction.
And he was...
I've got to take out my dictionary for that one. Go ahead.
And he was talking about like the role and the interplay between men and women, you know. Like as men get weaker, women actually start to notice that in the guy themselves too. And I think they...
Yeah, kind of like that swimmer that became really strong because guys won't step up to the plate. Leah Thomas.
The
guys dropped the ball, so she's got to step up. The girls are stepping it up because you guys aren't. Anyways.
Or maybe as our future sheriff said.
Oh, yeah. Our future sheriff, God willing, Minerva.
That was one of her points also.
What? Oh, yeah, she did say that, right? Yeah. And you know what? She's right, man. Like her points were... I mean, she was on point, man. Like she was just... Her points were on point.
Yeah.
Anyways, Angel, we keep on.
No, well, that's what we're just having a discussion.
Yeah.
And so as...
But do you all agree we're not decaying, we're evolving?
No.
And girls like Leah Thomas had to step it up because We're not doing it?
We're devolving. We're heading back to the Babylonian times.
I agree with that.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Hey, I've always wondered what Babylon was like. It's like
It was really cool for a few people.
Okay, all right.
And then it really sucked for everyone else.
Wait, but didn't they end up turning into salt pillars or something, or no?
No.
Oh wait, I'm thinking about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, but that's actually a better analogy for the United States. What was it? I actually heard a Catholic guy. He's a young fellow, an actually Catholic guy.
Actually Catholic.
He's actually the animator and the founder of Freedom Tunes. I recommend that guy. Freedom Tunes, excellent YouTube channel. He does political cartoons, and he was on a podcast and he says, you know what? If God doesn't strike down the United States soon, he owes Sodom and Gomorrah an apology. It's like, holy crap, damn. But he was half joking, but I mean, I was like, oh, goodness gracious. Anywhoozle.
No, and this is all like really great discussion because one of the points that he was making after that discussion too was that unfortunately as men lose their masculinity and the good traits of masculinity,
the women have to like compensate for that.
That and unfortunately the men lose trust in the women and the women lose trust in the men. You know, you start not having, I guess, like the good relationships that the sexes had with each other because I think in a way we complement each other. You know, we
It kind of makes the entire paradigm fall into some sort of weird uncanny valley situation. Well, that actually makes perfect sense. Why we don't trust each other because that's not how you're kind of supposed to act. Kind of like when you see an AI robot. Have you seen those? It's a bust of a robot and it has like an AI mind and it just starts talking and it moves weird and that's the uncanny valley. Like you're like, I don't trust that thing because it kind of looks like a human but it doesn't move like a human and it makes me very scared. So actually that's a very good point right there.
I don't know what you guys talking about.
And what were you doing yesterday? Because you went there.
Anyway,
were you thinking of going carbon neutral too, or what? Carbon neutral fantasies?
Actually, I was in the celebration of the word.
Also. Oh, so you were also at church.
He was also at church, yeah, but just in another group because he doesn't like us.
I'm glad.
Anyway, no man, that's fantastic. These are some hard hitting things that he was covering. It looks like.
And I just love it too because he was bringing up a lot of different things. Like the audience had an opportunity to ask questions, which was kind of cool too. But one of the other things he was kind of talking about was how you really don't want a partner who doesn't challenge you because without the challenge, you don't grow as a person, you know? And I think the whole point of marriage is to help each other get to heaven. So like, what does that mean? Like, pretty much the idea of goodness, you know?
You
like
challenge your wife to do everything.
I always do. And she challenges me.
Sweep, clean outside, challenge her to do everything so you can... And she can challenge you to be a bum.
That's gonna go. I challenge you to sit on the couch. Oh no, honey, please, anything.
I challenge you to sit on the couch and play video games.
No, never.
And he was like, and think about it too. Like, if you had somebody who never fought with you, like, you would get bored of it really, really quick. But not only that, like, there's no growth. There's no growth opportunity there, you know.
And some of our most wonderful moments, I think, in my marriage. Some of our most wonderful moments are like moments after having a heated discussion. No, but it's not even. It's not even about that. No, not even about that, you guys. It's mostly because we come to an agreement and we say, you know what? No. If I'm wrong, like, oh, you know, you were right, and I'm sorry. And that moment of instant repair, it was getting tense. And then one of us usually caves and says, like, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, and you were right. And it just like instantly right there, like it makes the bond so much stronger.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that we challenge each other with our thoughts, with our ideas, and it does create a tense moment. It really does. But the thing is not backing out of it and knowing that we're looking out for the good of the other. And she says that all the time. Like, my responsibility is to get you to heaven. That's what she says.
No, you're not going to get there by forgetting your anniversary.
That's what she Oh, you called me out on national television. International television.
Transnational television.
Transnational. Oh man, this is fantastic, man. I'm so bummed out that I missed it.
Oh, there's some really great topics. So let's go ahead and wrap this up for today, and I guess we'll discuss some of the big ones next week.
All right.
The whole interpretation of the Book of Revelation between the Whore of Babylon and the Beast was mind blowing. So we'll get into that next week.
That sounds crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
And it made a whole lot of sense to me, man.
I just hope he doesn't come to the same conclusion many other people go at saying that the Whore of Babylon is the Catholic Church.
Oh no.
Okay, thank goodness.
Okay.
Because it's not.
Because it's not. It's not.
All signs point to no, it's not.
So, in any case, please write down whatever. Write that down, Angel. Because we got a lot to talk about.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna come back with my Bible, and I'm gonna be like, no, sorry, Jordan Peterson.
No, dude, don't do that, dude. You don't know shit.
I don't know shit. Okay,
No,
Steve will do it. Okay. He's actually trained.
Yeah, they sent him back.
They sent him back. He's like, you know what, you suck, dude.
Actually, I was thinking about getting the Bible too, so we can read it directly, because he went into some really good details, and that way, like he talks about the numbers, he talks about the.
Make sure we call Meter and get the gender neutral Bible, the woke Bible. Yeah. We need to make sure we get it right. And it wasn't the whore of Babylon. It was the sex worker of Babylon. Because sex workers are workers too. So anyway, guys, I think that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. And that's going to be a hot topic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Peace, and you have a blessed day. Go to church.
Get carbon neutral.